Hi, I'm Ilona, and I am so excited to be collaborating with Manduka Europe on this yoga routine for your travels. I always bring my Manduka travel mat. It is eco-friendly, it's so light, and it folds up into my suitcase or rucksack, so never have an issue bringing it through security. And having my own yoga mat with me when I travel is just the best way to help me feel at home wherever I am, whether I'm going to visit family or traveling the world. Just being able to roll out a mat wherever I am and have that little piece of my routine, no matter what I'm doing, is so valuable to me. So I hope that I can bring that same experience to you through this. And if you haven't picked up a travel mat from Manduka yet, then go and check them out. If you love this and you want to follow more of my yoga classes, I have a YouTube channel called Yoga with Ilona, so you can find me there. We'll get started today on our mats. Come to a child's pose. Bow your head down. You can take your knees as wide as feels good. And just settle in here. Start to breathe. Ground down into all of those points of contact with the earth. So much of the time when we're traveling, we can feel quite flighty and not grounded. So really take that moment to be here and now in your child's pose. Taking a little bit of movement side to side if that feels good to you, or just finding stillness. Start to come into your breath, inhaling fully through the nose and exhaling fully through the nose. Coming home to yourself with each breath, no matter where you are in the world. Now we'll start to work out any travel stiffness in the body. With an inhale, rise up to a tabletop position and ground into your palms. Have your knees directly under the hips, and we'll move into a gentle cat-cow. Inhale, open up the chest, gaze upwards. Exhale, round the back, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, press the floor away. A few more times with your own breath. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, round the back. One more. Really feel that stretch. Good, and then moving through those same two motions, I now invite you to explore it a little more. Take big circles with the spine and move in a way that feels good to you. Whether you've been on an airplane or maybe driving, you feel kind of stiff and tight in the body, and it feels so good to wiggle out all of those tight areas. If you've just been going in one direction, make sure to go the other way as well. Good, and then from here we'll take our thread the needle. Bring your right hand into the center underneath your face. With your left arm, stretch up into a T shape. And then as you exhale, thread it underneath the opposite shoulder. Bring your left shoulder down to the mat and gaze out towards your right side. Just coming into a twist here. The other thing I find when I'm traveling is my digestion is always out of whack, so I love to take a few twists in my practice. So really enjoy this twist, feel it rinsing out your digestive organs as you breathe. Good, and with your next inhale, open up the chest, reach up into that T shape again, and then place your left hand down, ready to switch sides. And bringing that left hand underneath the face, open up, stretch up, and as you exhale, thread it underneath, coming onto that right shoulder now. Notice if your hips really wiggle over to one side and try to square off the hips. Breathing into that twist. Good, and then with an inhale, unwind, reach up, and exhale, release to the center. Now opening up the chest, reach your hands as far forward as feels good. Keep your hips high and begin to drop your chest towards the mat. Whenever you reach that point of resistance where your chest can't open anymore, you can either bring your chin if you're close to the floor or your forehead to the mat. Focus on really opening up through the chest and the underarms. Seeing if you could bring the whole of the chest down onto the mat, gazing forward, or for a more gentle variation, tucking the chin, keeping those hips high and breathing space into the front of the body. When we've been sitting, traveling for long periods, the upper back and the chest can get so tight. Really let all that tension go here. Good, and then peel forward to a sphinx position. Come onto your elbows, forearms on the mat. Scoop your chest between the arms as you bring your belly to the floor. Lift the gaze if that feels good. Open up the front of the throat. Good, and then we'll walk it up onto the hands. Tuck your toes under and bring yourself sweetly into downward facing dog. In your downward dog, you can just explore the position, bending one knee and then the other. Give the head a little bit of movement from side to side. Let the back of the neck be really long, and if you're feeling tight in the backs of the legs, you can walk your feet nice and wide. If your heels do reach the mat, you can bring the feet all the way together. And now finding stillness in your downward dog, just take a full cycle of breath. Coming home to yourself again with this breath. Then walk the feet back slightly. Inhale, roll forward to a plank position. We'll take some spine waves. Lift the hips now, let your spine arch and then press back to downward dog. Inhale, roll forward through a rounded upper back. Come over the wrists with the shoulders and then lift the hips high. Find that wiggle motion with the spine. 2 more with the breath. Don't worry too much how it looks, just let it feel good. Nice. This time a little different. Come forward to plank. Maybe bring your knees down or stay on the toes for a chaturanga, elbows back, and then lift onto the tops of the feet for upward facing dog. Gaze upwards, open your chest, and exhale to press back to downward facing dog. Deep breath in, long exhale out. From here, with an inhale, stretch up through the right leg, reach it as high as it can go, press down through your left heel to feel that stretch in your calf, and then bend your right knee, will circle out through the hip. Draw nice big circles and then take them back the other way. And from there, round through the upper back, bring your right foot forward all the way between the hands. Bring your left knee down. Inhale in your low lunge. And then exhale, move your hips back. Find a half split position. Stretch out that hamstring. We'll do that a couple of times, opening up the back of the right leg. And again, inhale, come forward. Exhale and move back. Now coming forward again, place your left hand down on the inside of your right foot. So opposite hand to foot. Bring your right hand to your knee and then use that hand to twist you towards that right knee. Maybe gaze behind your shoulder. If this is enough, stay here. If you can also pick up your back foot, bending the knee, lift it actively towards you. Maybe you can reach back for the heel or even the toes and hug it in towards the thigh as you exhale. Inhale, pull it away from the body. Exhale, pull it towards you. Good. And now you can let the foot pull away from your hand and drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. Stretch out that right shoulder, the whole spine. You can even let your chest open towards the front of the mat. And then bring the right arm up, look towards the thumb and pick up your back knee into a twisted lunge position. Keep strong through this left arm and look up if it feels okay on your neck. Then bring your right hand down. We'll step back to plank and take a vinyasa. You can do this on the knees or the toes. Hover off the mat and lift onto the tops of the feet for upward dog. Exhale, move back to downward dog. Deep inhale, smooth exhale. We'll do that on the other side. Left leg lifts now, ground through your right heel. Feel that incredible stretch down the back of the right leg. And then bend the left knee. Start to draw those circles like we did before. Really using this to open up your hip. Then take it back the other way. And from there, scoop it forward, step it between the hands. Bring your right knee down. Back toes can be tucked or untucked. Come high on your fingertips. Inhale in your lunge. Exhale as you move back to half split position. Keep a bend in the front knee if it feels tight. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, move back. And again, coming forward. And move back. Nice. And coming forward again, bring your right fingers down on the inside of the left leg. Use your left hand to twist you around from the belly. Maybe gaze behind you or just take the gaze to your left side. And then you can bend your right knee, maybe stay here, or see if you can reach back for that foot. Let it pull away from the body now, and as you exhale, pull it towards you. Let it pull away and then bring it towards you. One more time. Away and in. And then you can let the foot peel away from the body. Let your chest fall away from the left knee. Open up here. Feel this stretch through the outside of the left shoulder into the psoas, the lower back. This is an amazing full body stretch. Good, and then bring your left hand down. Take your flow again on the knees or the toes. Flow it out. And meet back in downward dog. Deep breath in. Smooth exhale. Once again now reaching the right leg up.
open out that knee, open out the hip. And now coming through to a pigeon pose, bring your right knee towards your right wrist. And you can have as much of a angle with the knee as feels okay on the knee, and that brings a stretch into your right glute and hip. You could, if you are in a hotel room or somewhere you're staying, you could grab a cushion and place it underneath your right sitting bone if you feel very collapsed over to one side. Otherwise, just stay here, taking that position with the leg that feels like a nourishing stretch. If this doesn't work for you, you can come to lie on your back and take a figure of 4 shape with the legs instead. If you're staying in the pigeon, inhale, open up the chest, and then you can walk forward onto your elbows and bow the head down, taking this more restful half pigeon variation. Breathe deeply. Imagine you could send that release of each exhale to your tight muscles. Good. Last exhale now. Bring your hands back up and carefully and gently step that right foot back, coming to your downward dog again. Give your right leg a little shake, and then we'll go onto the left side. Stretch your left leg up, bend the knee, open the hips, stack your left hip over your right hip, and then bring it all the way forward to your left wrist. And we'll wiggle that right knee back behind you. Take it straight behind you. Try not to let it go off to one side. And find that angle with the front leg that feels good for you. Try to square off the hips. And option to stay here in your lifted pigeon position. Or maybe you can walk forward to the more restful version. Breathe into that stretch. Settle in here. Notice any differences on this side. Feel any tightness melting away with each exhale. Gently from there, you can walk yourself back up and step it back to your downward dog. Again, give your left leg a little bit of a wiggle. And then come down from there onto the knees. And sit back to the heels. We've done quite a lot of forward folding to stretch out the back side of the body, but now we'll take a back bend before we finish. So Ustrasana, camel pose. We'll start by really tucking the tailbone down, squeeze the glutes and push the hips forward. Bring your hands to your lower back, open up your chest. If this is enough, stay here, just practice squeezing the shoulder blades together. Or maybe you can start to look back behind you, open the chest a little more, keep pressing the hips forward. Again, if that's enough, stay, or reach down for your heels. If that feels good to you, really open up the whole front side of the body. Wherever you are, breathing deeply, coming out if you need to, but maybe choosing to stay. Just see what happens. Feel this opening through the whole spine, not just the lower back. And then lead with your gaze. Sit the hips back down to the heels. Tuck your chin. And just take a little moment to reset in the spine. Good. And then bring your legs around in front of you. Bring the soles of your feet together and coming down to lying on your back. Take a few moments here on your back. Just breathe down into your belly and feel this gentle stretch through the inner thighs. Deep breaths. And if you have more time and you would like to take a longer Shavasana, then just stay here. If you're ready to come out, roll gently onto one side and press yourself up sideways to a seated position. Cross your legs. And take a moment here, maybe take your hands to your heart space. Take this moment to thank yourself for practicing yoga today. Namaste. Thank you so very much for joining me. I really hope that you loved this practice for your travels, and if you did, please give this video a like. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to Manduka Europe's YouTube channel, and check out my links in the description below to find me on Instagram and YouTube as well to follow more flows with me. Have the most beautiful day. I'll see you soon. Bye.